Hello Libra, my name is Keith Haswell and I'm a professional astrologer with 40 years experience in the business and over 30,000 clients worldwide. It's my pleasure, Libra, to welcome you to this reading of your horoscope for 2014 from a spiritual perspective. Now, if your sun sign is Libra, and you know your time of birth accurately within a half an hour, then we can ascertain what your ascendant is. So send me your birth details and I'll be able to do your horoscope chart for you. Submit your birth details through my website and I'll be able to send you your horoscope chart, so you'll then know what your rising sign is. And this reading will be much more applicable, Libra, to your rising sign because it's a spiritual reading. Now, what I'll be focusing on in this reading for you is to look at your horoscope from the point of view of the movements of planets in 2014, so that I can help you to understand what's going on in your life spiritually, but also from the mundane events and conditions in your life as well, with a view to helping you to understand more about yourself. To know yourself is a very powerful force and a very powerful need. And so the science of astrology can help you to understand more about yourself. And I'll be looking at the location of the signs on each of the 12 houses of your horoscope. You've got your rising sign, which is the sign on the eastern horizon at the time of your first breath. And that sign is individual to you and you alone, and to others who have the same rising sign as you. If we don't know your rising sign, then we use the sun as the cusp of the first house, and it's equally as accurate. But it's preferable if you can have your ascendant and be working on looking at the video that is applicable for your rising sign or your ascendant. Now, what I'm going to be doing for you is telling you the various impacts of the signs on the cusps of your houses. Astrology is the most scientific presentation of hidden truth in the world today, because it deals with you and your life and the events and conditions in your life. Now, it's important to understand that you are creating all of the events of your life. There's no such thing as karma that's imposed upon you, and therefore you must break a leg because you forced someone in a last life to break their leg or something like that. Or all of these things that are imposed upon you because you've been a bad person in your past life. You are experiencing all of these events and conditions because of your raw materials. These are your attitudes and your beliefs, your thoughts and your feelings, and the decisions and choices that those attitudes and beliefs and thoughts and feelings engender from within yourself. Now, each of us are living our lives through the events and conditions of our life and experiencing our consciousness through those events and conditions in our life. And these events and conditions in our life all belong somewhere in one of the 12 segments of your horoscope called houses. So, as having your rising sign on the cusp of your first house, there'll be the next sign following on from that is going to be in the cusp of the second house, and then the next sign will be on the cusp of the third house, and so forth all the way through the 12 segments of your horoscope called houses. And each of the events of your life fit into one of these 12 houses. But more importantly than that, you are experimenting and experiencing and expressing your consciousness through these houses, and in that process you are gaining experience and you are gaining knowledge, and you are turning that knowledge into wisdom. Now, the most important thing about my reading that I'm going to be doing for you here is that I'm going to be telling you what are the needs that you are fulfilling through these houses of your horoscope, because each of the 12 houses you are fulfilling certain needs in life through the events and conditions of that house. The first house, for example, is your need to have impact. You need to commence and start projects and ideas so that you can have impact in the world and feel a sense of power. The second house is the house to do with your sense of security and fulfilling your security needs, not just your financial security, but also your physical health security and your emotional security, your mental security, and your spiritual security in life. So through that house you're fulfilling your security needs. Through the third house you are fulfilling your needs to communicate. And that is the house where you are dealing with those who are close to you, like relatives and neighbours. The fourth house is where you are fulfilling your belonging needs, to belong to a home environment and a family unit, and to those who cohabitate with you in the home, sharing that family sense of belonging there, so you are fulfilling your belonging needs. The fifth house is where you are fulfilling your need to love. We all need to love, and we all need to have fun. And so entertainments and amusements fit into there. Romance and love fits into there. And sexual activities, sporting activities, restaurants and places of amusement, and children. The greatest capacity for us to express our love is through our offspring. The sixth house is the house where we are fulfilling our service needs. We all need to be having meaningful work. So work belongs in that arena of the sixth house. Meaningful work is very important for you regarding health. So we need to be able to be of useful service in the community through meaningful employment, and that fits into that category of maintaining good health through right diet and exercise. The seventh house is the house fulfilling our needs to have a mate, to have somebody in our life who is an intimate, someone that we can get to know, and to be known in return. To be known is very, very important, and to know someone is a very important need that needs to be fulfilled in life. The eighth house fulfills our need for change. We're all the time reflecting and thinking upon aspects of our nature that we know that we should transcend. And so fulfilling that need for change. The ninth house is the house where we fulfill our need for expansion. And we do that through adult education, through study, research and investigation, through philosophy, religious pursuits, and also travel. The 10th house is where we are fulfilling our esteeming needs. We all have a need to be well thought of in the community and to aspire to the heights of success in whatever our chosen field is, and that brings in the career and business. The 11th house is where we are fulfilling our need for friendship and group activities. We all have the need to have friendships and to have group activities in our life. We are ultimately all working towards group consciousness. And so group activities and club activities all fit into that category. The 12th house is where we are fulfilling our needs for solitude. We all need to have that time, quiet time to ourselves, where we can reflect and think upon ourselves and aspire towards being more of who we really are and aspire towards the divine. And many times we do this the wrong way. We do it through crisis and internment in hospitals and institutions. And we force ourselves to have that solitude, and we force ourselves to reflect upon moral and principles and values and so forth, and to develop our character and to aspire towards the divine. Make no mistake about it, you are in a spiritual classroom. All of us are in a spiritual classroom. Whether you believe in God and believe in Goddess is immaterial. The fact of the matter is that they have created everything that's in our lives. They have created everything that's in the universe. And without them, you wouldn't be here in life. Science poo-poos higher beings, and science poo-poos a designer in the universe, but the evidence of design in the universe is just so overwhelming that you must let it in that there is that God and Goddess, that ultimate being who's there to help us and to guide us. And so this is the objective and the purpose of my work, is to help you to be a believer in God and Goddess. A believer in the fact that they have set it up in a way that allows you and gives you the power to create your own reality. You are creating all of the events of your life. No one is doing it to you. So if you've got pain in your life, you've got to look at your raw materials. You've got to look at your attitudes and your beliefs and your thoughts and your feelings. It's easy to think that no one knows my thoughts and no one knows my feelings, but everything is recorded by yourself, by the higher aspects of yourself, your subconscious mind and your unconscious mind. And so rather than creating all of the events of your life through your subconscious mind and your unconscious mind, you're better off to do it consciously. And so this is what the objective of my intensives are all about, is to help you to understand the laws that we live within in this space-time rule set that we call Earth, this spiritual classroom that we call Earth. And we've all made mistakes. We need to draw upon courage. Courage is the willingness to act, even though you don't have all the answers, and even though some of the answers that you do have are wrong. It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to not be perfect. It's okay to make mistakes. We all do it. And so the idea is to rise above those mistakes from here on, and to start changing those attitudes and beliefs and those thoughts and those feelings that are there in your subconscious mind, thoughts that you don't deserve love, thoughts and feelings and attitudes and beliefs that you're no good, that life is a financial struggle for you, that you'll never amount to anything, that relationships don't work out for you, that you're not lovable, and self-pity and fear and self-sabotage and anxiety and doubt and insecurity. Look, we've all got these things inside of ourselves. And this is what we're in this level of consciousness to do, is to transcend all of those negative aspects of ourselves. And so you sit back and relax now and enjoy the journey here, and I'll take you through a journey for 2014 and tell you what sort of impacts that you're going to be experiencing and which way that you are going to be developing those principles and values within yourself in order to fulfill your needs. Now you're watching this video because you either have the Sun in Libra or you have the rising sign in Libra. And this is the way that you go about creating impact through the first house of your horoscope, is through relationships, through a love of music, artistic and creative things. You're Venus ruled, so you can be a little bit possessive in relationships, and you fulfill your needs to have impact through a scientific engineering sort of a practice in life. You love to work with mathematics and you love to work with the finer details of things. You've got a rather scientific mind, Libra. And another way that you fulfill the need for having impact in your life is by finding balance within yourself. The scales are your symbol for Libra. And so you're all the time trying to find that balance within yourself. And through attaining that sense of balance within yourself, you feel as if you're having impact in life. So you've got the ability to commence and start projects and ideas. Libra is a cardinal sign, and so you're a good organiser and you love the social side of life. Now, as far as fulfilling your security needs, Libra, you've got Scorpio on the cusp there of your second house, and that means that there's quite a bit of mystery at times surrounding financial circumstances in life for you, and surrounding your sense of security in life. You find that sense of security inside of yourself, Libra, by bringing about change within yourself through introspection and reflection, and you're all the time in that deep state of introspection and reflection on aspects of yourself that you feel as if you've outgrown, particularly things that regard financial circumstances in life. So you're all the time trying to reflect upon errors that you've made with judgment and things like that, with investments or financial expenditures and things like that. And so through that introspection and reflection and bringing about those changes within yourself, you fulfill that need for security in your life. Now, Mars is the ruler of your second house of security, Libra, and with Mars being retrograde for a period of time, in other words, it's in an apparent backward motion from the 2nd of March to the 20th of May, it means that during this particular time, financial matters and matters relating to your security, not just financial security, but also physical security, emotional security, mental security, and spiritual security. Your sense of security is under threat during that time, and you're going to have to work that much harder to try and find that sense of security inside of yourself during that particular period. And then when Mars goes direct again, things will start to work out okay for you in terms of your security throughout 2014. Now you've got Sagittarius on the cusp of your third house, Libra, and that makes you wanting to fulfill your communication needs through statements that are expansive and wide on a wide variety of topics, particularly philosophy and religious ideas and things to do with travel and that sort of thing. You're very frank, straightforward and to the point, but you do blend in well, particularly with those close to you, like relatives and neighbours. You blend in pretty well with them. You would no doubt have relatives in life who live distantly from you, perhaps interstate or overseas. And you have a number of neighbours perhaps who were born overseas. Now you love to commune with nature as well, Libra, so you love going into the country and seeing all the landscapes and the wonders and the beauty of nature and the mountains and the trees and that sort of thing. So you love to be with the spirit of nature, and that's a way that you feel as if you are communicating and communing with nature. Now Jupiter is your ruler of your third house, Libra, and Jupiter is in a retrograde motion at the moment. In the beginning of 2014, Jupiter is already in a retrograde motion, and it remains in a retrograde motion, an apparent backward motion in other words, until the 7th of March. Now during this time you're going to find that things to do with motor vehicles, things to do with communications and dealings with relatives and neighbours and things like that won't go as smoothly as what you want them to. And so therefore your sense of communication and wanting to have smoothness in your communication and achieve your communication needs and fulfilling your needs in that regard are going to be a little bit thrown out of whack, what you might say. Then after the 7th of March, things are going to go rather smoothly for you for the balance of 2014, Libra. But it does kick in again, that retrograde motion, on the 9th of December, and that goes all the way through Christmas and into the new year. So you're going to find that that's going to be another time when you'll have a few hiccups in the dealings with people close to you, like relatives and neighbours, and your communication skills will just be a little bit out of whack at that time. Now you've got Capricorn on the cusp of your 4th house, Libra, and with Capricorn on the cusp of your 4th house, and the 4th house is where you are fulfilling your needs to belong, there's some unhappiness for you in the childhood home. There's a breakup in the family, or a death in the family, or something like that, or there's some other unhappiness, a sense of limitation and restriction on the budget for the family and that sort of thing in your childhood home, and it's interfered with your sense of security. In the latter part of your life, quite often you'll live alone, and you work from home, run some sort of business from home perhaps at some time in life. If not, you bring work home to do at home, and that way you have a sense of belonging there, even if it's to do with the business side of things. So you fulfill your belonging needs there, sometimes just through the career, and there'll be a fair share of frustrations and difficulties with regard to family matters and domestic matters and property matters. But you can go into business with family members as well. When you get it all together and things are working smoothly and you overcome the obstacles and the limitations that are set there in front of you, with Capricorn on the cusp of the 4th house, you have to use the time and energy and money wisely with regard to all expenditures to do with the home and the domestic side of life. Now Saturn is the ruler of Capricorn, Libra, and Saturn is in a retrograde motion, in an apparent backward motion, from the 3rd of March to the 21st of July. So during that period, it's quite an extensive period. You've got a little bit of problems there to do with your sense of belonging in the family unit, and domestic and family matters and property matters will probably be a bit out of whack during that time. So there'll be a few frustrations there to do with domestic and family matters during that period, and then after that time things will start to go more smoothly for you for the balance of 2014. Now Libra, you've got Aquarius on the cusp of your 5th house, and the 5th house is the house where you are fulfilling your needs to express your love and to have fun. And you have Aquarius, the eccentric, innovative, futuristic sign of Aquarius on the cusp of your 5th house. So you're not going to be going in for the normal sort of relationships. You'll probably live together. You could have a different type of relationship altogether, male on male or female on female. There can be a lot of unusual things that you introduce into your social life, and you can expect your fair share of unusual and unexpected perhaps crises here and there to do with children. And you could adopt a child. It's possible that you could have stepchildren or something like that involved. And certainly the area of having fun and the social side of your life is always on a sense of wanting to innovate and do something different and out of the ordinary and unusual. That's what creates excitement for you in the area of having fun and expressing your love nature, Libra. Now Uranus is the ruler of your 5th house, Libra, and it's in an apparent backward motion and a retrograde motion for a prolonged period of time in 2014, from the 23rd of July through to the 22nd of December. So during that extended period, you're probably going to find that your love life, your romantic life, your social life, your capacity to express love, and matters relating to children and the social and romantic side of your life, and your area of having fun and so forth, are all going to be interfered with. And so there's probably going to be the unexpected will crop up during the year in that particular period anyway. Now you've got Pisces on the cusp of your 6th house. The 6th house is where you are fulfilling your service needs, Libra. And with Pisces on the cusp there of your 6th house, it's possible that you could work in a job where you're nursing or dealing with health or something like that, or pharmaceuticals or chemicals. And there's some strange circumstances there connected with the job. Perhaps there's a lot of secrets that you have to keep with regard to other employees and other co-workers and so forth. So they confide in you a lot of things that you've got to keep secret. And there can be a secret involvement, secret romantic involvement with people that you work with. And your sense of service is sometimes a bit chaotic with Pisces on the cusp there, Libra. So you'll experience in life sometimes perhaps a little bit of gossip and backbiting that'll be attacking you and shaking your sense of security in that regard. And there can be many changes as far as your job is concerned. You could work in a hospital or an institution with that sort of a placement, or in the health-related field. Now Jupiter is the ruler of your 6th house, Libra, and it's in a retrograde motion from the beginning of 2014 all the way through to the 7th of March. So during that time, things relating to health and dietary matters and job matters and your sense of being of service to the community is going to perhaps be a little bit wonky and out of whack. And then it kicks in again, that retrograde motion of Jupiter, towards the end of the year on the 9th of December. And it remains in retrograde then through to the balance of the year. So in the intervening period there's things going more smoothly for you in 2014, Libra, with regard to your service activities. Now one thing that stands out in your horoscope, Libra, is that you have got Saturn transiting through your 2nd house of finances during the whole of the year. And that means that financially you've got to be very wise. You've got to budget wisely. You're being told by Saturn that the law of economy is coming in upon you. And you've got to be wise and smart and budget wisely and handle money and wisely and the expenditures wisely and things like that. Otherwise you're going to have a lot of difficulties and frustrations with money matters during the whole of 2014, Libra. Now on the cusp of your 7th house, which is the house to do with a mate and the desire to form a partnership and relationship and have a mate and someone that you can get to know and be intimate with and someone who can get to know you, you've got the impulsive Arian energies there on the cusp of your 7th house. So Libra, that means that you jump into a few hasty relationships early in life and get your fingers burnt perhaps. You'll have a husband or a wife who wears a uniform in a job at some time perhaps. And there'll be a fair bit of tension and conflict there in relationships for you because of the impulsive nature with which they were perhaps formed. Now Mars rules the 7th house, Libra, and it's in a retrograde motion from the 2nd of March to the 20th of May. During this time there's a fair bit of stress and tension to do with relationships, and things are not going to go as smoothly as what you would like them to in terms of your formation of attachments and stabilisation of attachments. And another thing that you've got throughout the whole of the year, Libra, is you've got Uranus there in the 7th house of your horoscope during the whole of the year. So that means that you can expect the unexpected with regard to relationships in this year of 2014. So you can expect to form relationships under unusual circumstances, sudden formation of ties, sudden breakups of ties, unusual ties in themselves can be formed under very unusual circumstances. So it's basically a very innovative and a way whereby you are testing out different methodologies and functionalities in relationships. So you can expect the unexpected there, Libra, during 2014, the whole of the year in relationships. On the cusp of your 8th house, Libra, you've got the sign Taurus. And Taurus is Venus ruled, and you are fulfilling your need for change, and you bring about change and introspection quite a lot upon financial matters that you share jointly with a partner, or upon matters relating to your security. And you have a scientific way of going about bringing about change within yourself. So you get stuck into rituals and routines of a variety of descriptions in order to be able to apply that scientific mind of yours with regard to bringing about change within yourself. So you can get stuck into certain routines in the gym, or routines of walking, or routines of getting out to self-improvement courses, or anything that's structured and organised and planned and well thought out and so forth is what's appealing to you in order to bring about that change within yourself, Libra. Now, on the cusp of your 9th house, Libra, you've got the flighty sign of Gemini. So as far as expansion and your needs to fulfill that sense of expansion and growing and reaching and stretching and becoming more of who you are through adult education and philosophy and religious matters and so forth, with Gemini on the cusp there, there's many changing interests. As far as your religious opinions and ideas are concerned, you're a prolific reader, and there's a sense of duality in your nature. So there might be one side of you has a belief in this and that, and keeps that side of yourself to a certain number of people, and there's an entirely different perspective in relationship to your relatives or your neighbours, for example. So there could be an entirely different perception there about who you are and what your beliefs are. So there's that sense of duality in your nature there in terms of your need for expansion and your beliefs on philosophy and so forth. There can be twins among your in-laws, and you can have relatives who live distantly from you, perhaps interstate or overseas. You would more than likely drive a motor vehicle which was manufactured overseas. Now, as far as your 10th house is concerned, Libra, you've got Cancer on the cusp of your 10th house, so you either work from home or run a business from home, or else you bring a lot of work home with you. And there's a lot of involvements there in order to attain the heights of respect in the community and so forth, fulfilling your ambitions to become more well thought of in the community and so forth. You have that overtime work there involved with career or business, and there's perhaps family involved in business with you or in the career, and you've got a very exciting thing there, Libra. In the whole of the year of 2014, you've got Jupiter is there in transit through the 10th house of your horoscope. So it's going to be a fabulous year for you as far as your career is concerned. There could be a distant journey involving the career or business. There's opportunity for growth and expansion in career and business. And you've got the gods on your side in terms of expanding your understanding about business matters and career objectives during that time. So the whole of 2014 promises to be a good year for you in business and career. You've got Leo on the cusp of your 11th house, and your 11th house is the house whereby you are fulfilling your needs to belong to a group and to experience group activities through club activities and things like that. And with Leo on the cusp there, you're an organiser of group activities, and you're very much aware of club activities and belonging to a group and things like that. So there's a tremendous sense of consciousness there and awareness of the fact that you belong to a particular group. And there's a lot of social activities can spring from that sort of activities and through the club or whatever it is, the group that you belong to. And you've got a lot of power and a lot of leadership there that you can express in that particular area as well. You have friends who come from an upper class, what you might say. And there's involvements with other people's children on a social level as well. And the final house, the 12th house, Libra, you've got Virgo on the cusp of your 12th house. And the 12th house is where you are fulfilling your needs for solitude. And so during 2014, you're experiencing your sense of solitude when you get into your little niche about health and diet and exercise rituals and routines and things like that. And there can be some involvements there with people that you work with. They can confide in you with a lot of secrets and things like that. So there's quite a bit of intrigue there potentially as far as your workmates and things like that are concerned. You can be your own worst enemy when it comes to overeating and diet and exercise and things like that. So you work towards the divine and that sense of solitude when you knuckle down to take control of those aspects of yourself which don't have your best interests in mind. So all in all, Libra, it's an exciting year for you, and you certainly can be practical and down to earth with regard to the handling and budgeting and expenditure of money, and you'll be fulfilling that law of economy there as far as your second house is concerned, and your security needs will be fulfilled. In terms of relationships, you've got innovation and the unusual and the unexpected and the out of the ordinary experiences throughout 2014, so that's going to be quite an exciting year for you in the area of relationships. You can expect the unexpected to crop up in partnerships and marriage and relationships and things like that during 2014. And as far as your career is concerned, it's boom time, Libra, with Jupiter in the 10th house of your horoscope during the whole of the year. It's a time for growth and expansion and opportunity for you to become more of the giant that you truly are. Well, now that you've been exposed to what I've told you about the events and conditions that you'll be experiencing in 2014, where do you go from here? Well, it's very, very important for you to understand that just because you don't have all the answers, it doesn't mean that other people don't. And so I've written 2 books. What Really Matters is a book about astrology, meditation and reincarnation. And I've taken all of that material out of that book and put it into 12 CDs. And I'm happy to send you those 12 CDs free of charge. So what you do from here on is subscribe to my website, subscribe to my videos through YouTube, so that every new video that I bring out will be sent to you. And I'll be doing 100 videos or so in 2014 for your benefit on all aspects of spiritual growth to help you become more of the giant that you truly are. My other book is called Coming Home, An Eternal Journey, and that one goes into things a lot more deeply about the larger plan and quantum physics and the holographic nature of reality and all sorts of other stuff that we won't bother with here. So what I want to help you to do is to be more successful in your life, to be able to consciously create the events and conditions in your life. You have that power. Make no mistake about it. You have that power inside of yourself to create all of the events and conditions in your life by conscious choice instead of subconscious choice as you're doing now. So submit your birth details, even if you've watched videos of mine in the past. submit your birth details so that I can send you your chart together with those 12 CDs out of my first book on astrology, meditation and reincarnation. And also I'll send you other stuff too, all the links to all of my videos and everything. So this is all free of charge to help you become more of who you really are. But you then have the option of taking horoscope number 2. Horoscope number 2, look, what I'm telling you here in this particular reading that you've just been watching is I'm only telling you a very small amount of the things to do with your ascendant and the signs on the cusp of each of your 12 houses and the movements of the planets through your houses in 2014. But there's so much more there that's in your individual horoscope that I can't touch on, because I don't have your personal horoscope. There won't be another person born with the same horoscope as you for another 25,000 years. So you've got the moon is in a certain house and a certain sign and forming certain aspects with other planets in your horoscope. And that means something to you. You've got Mercury, which is your communication skills and your mentality. And that's in somewhere in one of those 12 houses, and that's in aspect with other planets, and so forth. And that has meaning. You've got Venus, which is your love nature, and that is sitting somewhere in one of the houses of your horoscope. And Mars is sitting in one of the houses of your horoscope. All of these things have meaning. They have aspects with each other, with other planets, and so forth. So this all has meaning. Jupiter is a major beneficial influence in your life. Where have you got Jupiter sitting in your horoscope, which is the main area that you can find happiness and joy and wonder and expansion in your life? Saturn is sitting somewhere in your horoscope, so there's a lot of tests there involved with Saturn. And Uranus and Neptune, all these planets have impact, and they're all sitting in different houses of your horoscope, and they're all forming aspects and relationships with each other that make you unique and different from everybody else. So I want to interpret your horoscope for you. So in horoscope number 2, I'll do that for you. It's a 20-page printout on you and you alone, and all to do with your personal planets and your houses and signs and aspect and so forth. And then to have horoscope number 3 is my voice with beautiful relaxing backing music to tell you all about the intimate side of your life and where your tests lie and what's going on in the immediate past, so you can say, yes, he knows what he's talking about. And then I'll go into the immediate future, 5 years or so for you, and tell you what's coming up. This helps you to have a map to know where you're going in life. So I thank you for your attentiveness here and look forward to working further with you should you get involved in my intensives and should you have your horoscope done by me. Thank you.